back to WP Sports Desk. We're going to kick off the show with some Pioneer sports talk, and later our correspondent Dante Vacaturo will bring us our recap of this week's games. Right now we're here with Chris Johnson, Wyatt Kalb, Dylan Burns, and Justin McHugh to talk some Pioneer football. Boys, let's start off by talking about Game 2 for the Pioneers. They sit 1-1 right now after a tough loss to Rowan. Tell us about it, Wyatt.
Well, you know, they came in there. Rowan historically has been one of the best defenses in the nation. They're top 25 every single year, and you know what? They showed up. First half, William Patterson played great. They're only down 7-0. Rowan just seemed to pull away in the second half.
Justin, you had the call for there. What did you see?
It was real tough. I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to the William Patterson defense. I think that's one thing that's going to fly under the radar. If you just take a look at the box score, you see them down 31-0. That doesn't show the message of them playing good defense, but they really showed up, and it got to the point where there was only one side that was really playing football, and that is where they struggled, and that's why they lost.
Dylan.
Right, and you go into halftime down a touchdown, you're in the game, the consensus feeling in the locker room was the Pioneers at any moment could have a breakout play. Right. That breakout play never happened, and it was Rowan who actually had the playmakers making plays out on the field and converting those scores into obviously converting those drives into touchdowns.
Right. Chris, what did you see?
You know, William Patterson struggled to get something going offensively. James Waldron threw for only 42 yards the whole entire game, and quarterback Isaiah Diaz-Mayes was 0 for 1 in passing attempts. Right. Now, when you don't utilize your star players, it's Anthony DeMarsico and Malcolm Robinson. Malcolm Robinson only had 2 catches for 14 yards. Right. So it makes it hard to win a football game when your star players aren't involved.
Right, and no receiver had over 14 yards for the game.
Right.
It was interesting how they were using Isaiah
On jet sweeps.
Right.
That's all they would do.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't even given an opportunity to air, throw the ball through the air. And I believe there was one possession where 3 straight times he just tried to run the ball up the gut and he got stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I'm pretty sure that happened more than one time.
Yeah.
Right. So let's move forward. Going into Kean this week. Arguably a winnable game. We should have won last year. Why? What do the Pioneers have to do to come out on top against Kean?
Well, last year, Malik McNeil played quarterback for us, and he had one heck of a game. He went deep. Malcolm Robinson scored a bunch of touchdowns, caught one in the back of the end zone, and had a run play where he just, literally ran and switched fields at least 3 times. This is a very winnable game. It's in conference. William Patterson has not been playing well of late. Between this Rowan game, I'm looking at this, and Coach Jerry Flora has got to put together a game plan, put some points up on the board like they did against Alfred State.
Right. Chris, you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. They need to get the star players involved early.
Right.
Another thing that they need to do is keep the defense off of the field. The defense was on the field way too long when they played Rowan, and fatigue showed in the second half.
Justin?
Well, either way, they need to change up the game. They played the same game in Alfred State and played the same game in Rowan. Only problem is it worked in Alfred State, it didn't work in Rowan. Regardless, even though it did work that first game, they have to switch it up because they got to bring something new to the table. They're only running about 3 or 4 sets out there. They need variety on offense, and they have to give their guys a shot. Just give them a shot. If it doesn't work, fine, but you have to give them a shot.
Dylan?
Yeah, Chris, I like what you said about not having the defense on the field as long as the Pioneers have had the defense on the field in the past 2 games. Right. And then eventually just one lapse in the defense. And, I'm just going to give it an example from the Rowan game where it was a screen pass for a 14-yard touchdown, a screen pass for a 45-yard touchdown. Right. The defense is on the field for so long, obviously they're going to get tired and let up a big play, and that's what's killed the Pioneers in years past. So you got to go back to 2014, fellas, for the last time the Pioneers have won an NJAC game.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what? For a team that primarily runs the ball, they're going to run out 4 or 5 wide receiver sets and have a guy come in motion. You'd think that kind of team would be able to spend a little more time off the clock, but like CJ said, that defense is on a lot, and that's why when you look at 31 points up on the board for Rowan, you don't really think, wow, the defense played bad. It's just that they were on the field for literally 3/4 of the game. Rakeem Bennett, I think it was Bennett had an interception, and the team played very well. So no knock on the defense. I really think the offense is going to come out of Kean.
So let's stay on talking about the offense with the quarterbacks here. We predicted that the D1 transfer Isaiah Diaz-Mayes was going to be taking most of the snaps. Turns out James Waldron has been under the center. Wyatt, tell me about this quarterback controversy.
Well, Waldron's a kind of guy who in the Alfred State game could air it out. We all know about his arm. I don't know about his running. Against Rowan, it really didn't work out. Diaz-Mayes is another guy we've said compared to a lot like Michael Vick. He's got the strongest arm I've seen on a Division III college quarterback. That's all he is. And I think if you're not going to play him at quarterback, you have to put him somewhere else on the offense and get him involved because he's that good.
Right, and Wyatt, I want to piggyback off of what you just said. He's a playmaker. And what you got to do is, obviously get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And what I thought, going back to the Rowan game, what Rowan did so well, the Pioneers struggled doing is the Rowan Profs got the ball into the hands of their playmakers, and they made plays. The game plan for William Patterson was to get the ball to guys like Malcolm Robinson, and they just weren't executing. It wasn't a lapse in play calling. It was a lack of execution in that first game, and they're going to have to execute to have a chance against Kean.
Justin, what do you think here?
Well, if we take it back to the Rowan game, the Pioneers punted the ball 13 times. Mm-hmm. And I could probably count on my hands the amount of plays that developed across the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Again, a lot of QB draws. Very rarely, very seldom, I could say, the running back touched the ball. Mm-hmm. I would say the quarterbacks combined have had about 10 times the amount of carries the running backs have had.
I don't even think Kasim Henry was on the field.
I think Kasim Henry maybe had 2 or 3 carries. And
That's it.
He averaged 5 yards a carry, but he had 2 carries.
Yeah.
So they got to give him a shot. We had so much running back production last year with Matt Deanna and all those guys. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we have this year.
Well, those guys are getting combine invites.
That's true.
You got to expect a little bit
big
of a
cleats to
fall.
fill, but you got to give these guys a shot.
Right.
Sure.
No, absolutely right.
Guys, we got about a minute left. Let's get a prediction for the Kean game. Are we coming out on top?
William Patterson 30, I think Kean 24. I think we really come out on top.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that. William Patterson will show signs of life tomorrow. They had a good week of practice, and I think you guys should know that Anthony DiMarcico was taking some snaps with the first team offense.
Really?
So that'll be something interesting to see.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see. Guys?
Well, if Anthony DiMarcico is out there, it's going to be tough. Now we got the whole quarterback situation starting again. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to take William Patterson 24, Kean 17.
Nice. Dylan?
I'm going to go with a similar score to Justin. I'm going to say William Patterson 24-21. Last year's Kean-William Patterson game came down to the final seconds.
Sure.
And why not this year?
Well, fingers crossed for our Pioneers. And football was not the only sport to have an eventful week. For more on the rest of WP Athletics, we bring in Dante Vacaturo. Dante?
The Pioneers volleyball team dropped their game to Ramapo College this past week, losing in straight sets. Senior Erin Roach had 15 kills in defeat. She's second in the NJAC with 119 kills on the season. Unfortunately, Roach went down with a lower extremity injury that may put an end to her season. We'll keep you updated as that story unfolds. Despite the loss, the 7-4 Pioneers look to turn the tides against New Jersey City University on Tuesday. The boys' soccer team took an early lead at Immaculata University and never looked back, winning 2-0 on Wednesday. Sophomore Glaven Zotage scored in the 28th minute, followed by a goal from freshman Jake Duffner 10 minutes later. The Pioneers travel to Rowan University on Saturday, September 24th. Shifting fields to women's soccer, a late goal by freshman midfielder Lorraine Moffitt lifted the Pioneers past St. Joseph's, Long Island. Moffitt's second goal of the season came at a crucial time, helping the team bounce back from a tough loss at the college in New Jersey. The team is 5-1-1 and hosts Rowan in an NJAC rivalry on Saturday, September 24th.
Thank you, Dante. Coming up next, Giuseppe and the baseball crew are back to talk some baseball. Stay tuned.